Thank you both. Now, the broadcasting regulator Ofcom says it's going to investigate the Channel 4 programme Benefit Street after receiving the best part of 2,000 complaints. Yet the programme yielded Channel 4 their biggest audience for the best of 2 years. It's more evidence of the way in which a particular type of portrayal of poor people on television has become immensely popular. The procession of unfortunate, feckless or addicted people on the Jeremy Kyle show on ITV, for example, reflects the same taste. The old injunction about a special care or reverence for the poor seems to have been shunted aside by a taste for the freak show.
There was a time not so long ago when the two people you could really rely upon when you needed them were your grandparents.
Not so long ago, the daytime talk show was a rather sedate affair, a place for distinctly careful gassing about the business of the day and perhaps a little general discussion on such saucy topics as relationships. Then this happened. The Jerry Springer Show and others like it found huge ratings success in the 1990s with an increasingly unashamed brand of lurid personal confession and confrontation between protagonists.
Thank you. Welcome back. My next guests say they have double the trouble.
At his show's peak, this politician turned journalist turned ringmaster was presenting to millions of viewers in 50 countries worldwide and even spawned a foul-mouthed opera in his tribute. The airing of Dirty Washing on national television format has found notable success on these shores too. The Jeremy Kyle show, once branded human bear-baiting by a judge, is now approaching its 10th year.
Unemployed.
And more recently, Channel 4's Benefit Street triggered a national slanging match over whether the travails of poor people should be a source of entertainment.
Why, if he wants to be with you, why is he living with her?
So what does one of the founding fathers of the human goldfish bowl, a devoted liberal and humanitarian in his private life apparently, think about the monster he helped to create? Well, Jerry Springer, the godfather of the confessional chat show, is here. Are you ashamed of it?
The show's stupid, but I've always thought the show's stupid. Ashamed not.
Shouldn't you be?
No, not any more than a journalist should be doing the news. Because, for example, you would make a living. Let's say you're a journalist. Let's say you do the news every night. Every night you tell stories about very bad things, and it's very profitable for the station. You're not necessarily helping the people you talk about. Newspapers are in that business all the time. You could decide only to put well-scrubbed, wealthy people that speak the Queen's English on television and just do that. But that wouldn't reflect the whole society.
You're being facetious, aren't you?
No, I think television, I'm dead serious. Let me finish. Television should reflect, in a free society, the entire culture. If all shows were like mine, that would be wrong. But you can't just have television that is like Friends, Seinfeld, all these wealthy people, good-looking people, and you love it. If some wealthy, famous person goes on television and talks about who he or she has been sleeping with, we can't get enough of it. We cheer them. But if it's some person of low income, all of a sudden we say, trash, trash, like they're less than a wealthy person.
Speak for yourself. Lots of us choose not to watch either.
Well, then you're not in the business. Then you do watch television. Are you saying here that you don't watch television, Jeremy? Of course you watch television.
I mean, I'm not interested in who's sleeping with whom.
I'm not either. I watch sports. But, so I'm not. I don't watch my show. And I've always said that. If I was in college, I would. When I was in college, I'd get a hoot out of it. But I'm saying we shouldn't be too uppity and say that if these shows show poor people, it's trash. But if it's rich people, it's okay.
It's not that it shows poor people, it's that it exploits poor people.
I disagree. I anchored the news for 10 years. I was a journalist for 10 years. That was exploitation. And I'll tell you why. Never once was there a conversation in the newsroom that we should drop a story because this story might hurt this person, ruin their career, ruin their marriage, or cause them discomfort. We never cared about the people we did stories on.
Well, you were
on
working in
our
a
show,
rubbish newsroom then, weren't you? I've been party to those conversations many a time.
You're telling me when you run a story on the BBC that puts someone in a bad light, you ask their permission first? That's
No,
just not true,
not
Jeremy.
ask their permission. That
Well,
wasn't what you said. A conversation saying, is this going to be damaging to the person? That conversation
And
was
did you
certainly...
ever then say, if it's
That is
damaging to the
certainly
person, you
many a
won't run the
time.
story? And you don't run the story?
It's happened many
Jeremy,
a
that's
time.
not true. Come
It's
on.
happened many a time.
News always, if it's a good story, if it's a big headline, no one ever said, for example, well, we got this Bill Clinton story and you know, with the young girl, let's not run it. It's going to hurt his marriage. It's going to hurt the family.
That's got clear political significance.
How did it
Exploiting
affect
poor
anybody's
people
life
from dysfunctional
other than his own
families?
family? How did O.J. Simpson,
Because
all the coverage of O.J.
president lying is a public matter.
Why did covering O.J. Simpson for 2 years? Now, I admit, I can only speak in America, so I don't know how much coverage you got here in England, in Great Britain. But in America, for 2 years, news covered O.J. Simpson. It didn't affect anybody's life except the people.
Okay, you've got me there. You've got me there. I mean, there was live coverage of the O.J. Simpson trial.
Following the car.
In my view, a disgrace.
Yes.
But because it had no significance.
Yes.
But your show doesn't have any significance. You admit
It does.
that.
No, it doesn't affect me, but I do think it matters to the people that are on it. Otherwise, they wouldn't call to be on.
Why
It may
do they
only
come
be
on it?
dating. I think the reason is the quick answer everyone always gives is, oh, they want their Andy Warhol 15 minutes of fame. That's glib and it's incorrect. These people don't become famous. They don't even use their real names. We let them wear disguises. So it's not to become famous. They come on, a lot of them, not all, because for 1 week in their lives, someone is listening to them. In other words, they don't have kids who listen to them, many of these folks. They don't have parents who listen to them. They don't have a job where someone asks their opinion. Every day you come to work, someone's saying, Jeremy, what do you think we ought to do?
That's bloody tragic if that's why they come on your show.
Well, for 1 week, it's easy for us to say because we're lucky in life. And every day someone's asking me, whether it's my daughter, whether it's my wife, someone's always asking me, people at work, what do I think about this? I go on a show and give my opinion. No one ever asks these people anything. And now for 1 week, they get picked up, they get taken to an airport, some of them, first time they've ever been on a plane, they get taken to a show, they come out there, people are cheering. And it's not important to you and me, and we don't deal with serious issues on our show. We don't do pregnancy tests, we don't do that. On our show, we just do who they're dating, and tomorrow they're cheating, and so they sleep with someone else the next day. So it's not life-changing. But what it is, and I notice, because when the show's over, most of the people on my show, I really kind of like. Not everyone, but most of them, they just didn't get the breaks in life that I get. They didn't have wonderful parents, or they weren't born maybe with a good brain, or they weren't born with the luck that I've had. So, but they're not bad human beings. They want to be happy. They say, Jerry, what's a good restaurant to go here in New York? Or would you hold my kid while we take a picture? Their language isn't as good as ours, but they're not less. I'm telling you, if you think, and I'm not suggesting you do, but if one thinks that wealthy, powerful people have cornered the market on virtue, like they don't cheat, they don't do bad things in life, that's just wrong.
No one suggests that for a second, least of all us, I hope.
Yep.
But thank you very much, Jerry Springer. Thanks.
Thanks for having me.
Cheers. Thank you.
Thanks.
That's all we have time for tonight. Good night.